Hi friends, I'm back, and today, this is Nancy, and I am going to talk about the papers for the inside of our album, okay? So I'll talk about the digitals in a second, but I wanted to show you what I'm using for the base pages inside the journal. Let me just grab this ream here. This paper here, make sure I got it in the frame here, okay. This paper here was gifted to me by a friend, and I love it. And it is available if you look up. There's a company here, www.astrobrights.com, but you can get it if you just Google this paper, Nina Astro Brights, and the color is called Stardust White. Stardust White, and I'll put the information in the description, but I'm loving this paper. It's 65 pound, and what I like about it is, I'll take a sheet out here and see if you can see. It's a white cardstock. It's a thinner cardstock, but can you see the flecks of color in there? Now, I've used this in journals before, because it's so pretty. It's not just plain white paper. It's not a bright white, but it's really pretty, and it has little specks of colors in there, and I think you can see it. So I'm using this as my base pages in the album, and so I thought I'd show you in case you were interested in getting some. For me, this also runs through my printer. And I know a lot of everybody's printer is different, but this paper here, it says it's for laser inkjet copier. You get 250 sheets. I don't remember how much it was. You get 250 in there, and it's 65 pounds. So it's really a nice weight for pages in a journal. So that's what I'm using as my base pages. So I will put the information below, but yeah, this is super pretty paper to use as base pages. If you're not able to find this paper or buy it, then I would suggest you can just use digitals. You can use any other kind of paper you want. You can even have your regular copy paper and splatter it with some color to give it color. You know, there's a whole bunch of ways you can do that. So that's my base pages. Now let's talk digital. There's three there in the kit. There are the full sheets of colors, of designs and colors, full sheets of a design. And then there are the journaling sheets like this. That's in the kit, the Groovy kit. But also remember, I told you Joey always has a wonderful freebie. This is the freebie. This is in the freebie. You have to go to his Ko-fi shop and download this freebie. So I printed those out too. So we're using, in addition to that cardstock that I just showed you, we're going to use all these papers as well. And I'm going to show you how to, the size and how I cut and what I'm doing with them, okay? So for the album, the pages need to be 7 7/8 high. So this way, 7 7/8 high. That's for all your pages, so they don't extend over. So 7 7/8 high by 8.5 long way. Okay, and I'll put that in the description as well. So just keep that in mind. Pages are 7 7/8 high. Now, if you make your cover, just measure your cover, because everybody's measurements could be a little different. So what my measurements are might not be exactly what your measurements will be. We used to call that in quilting, and I think they still do, your PPM, your private personal measurements. That's what we used to say in quilting. Maybe they still use that term, I don't know. But so they're your private personal measurements, because everybody cuts different, everybody measures different, everybody has different rulers, okay? So that's our cover. Remember the cover? I'll put it over here. I like to look at it. I'm so excited. So anyway, okay, so once you get these pages printed, now another thing is when you get the freebie automatically prints with the white border on it, and that's fine, okay? So if you can, when you print the pages from the kit itself, if you can print 8 by 10, that would be preferable, only because remember 7 7/8 is the height. So if you print 8 by 10, you're not losing much of the height of the paper, because the paper, if you print 8 by 10, it's 8 by 10. So your height needs to be 7 7/8. So you're cutting off minimal of the print. Okay. If you can't print 8 by 10 and you just print regular, well, that'll still work. You just have to, try to cut off as little bit as you have to, so you don't lose too much of the design. That's what I'm saying. So the kit pages, I printed 8 by 10, and this freebie automatically prints with the white border. So once you have all that printed, I'm going to show you with the freebie what I did with how I cut and printed the freebie. What I did with it and the other paper. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the freebie first. I already cut most of them down, but I'm going to show you. So here's one of the freebies, and I'm going to get my cutter. So I hope I don't knock the camera. Let me get that cutter out. So this is the freebie here, one of them, and I already cut the others. So what you want to do is, this needs to be 7 7/8. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off the white, and if I have to cut off part of the design, it doesn't matter. Let me get my little arm out here so I can see what I'm doing, because I need to measure that 7 7/8. So I cut one side off, so I'm going to measure 7 7/8 and then cut the rest off. And you see how little I cut off, so I'm not losing too much because it's printing with that white border. So 7 7/8. And then what I did with these pages is I thought, well, I don't want to lose all of this because our pages this way need to be 8.5, and obviously this is like 10. So I was thinking, what could I do? So what I did was I made a page and a tuck. I'll show you. Let me just move this again. I'm going to be moving this back and forth, so I hope I don't make a big noise or mess by moving it. So what I did was I took my scoreboard and left these white edges here. I just cut these off here. So what I did was I took my scoreboard, and I'm going to make my pocket on my fold over pocket on this side. It doesn't matter. You pick whatever side you want. So what I'm going to do is score along the white border here, like so. And I've said this in videos before, but if you're not aware, I print all my printables on 28-pound paper. I like the weight. I don't use copy paper at all because I like the weight and how everything prints and turns out on my 28-pound. And I just buy my 28-pound paper from Walmart. So, okay, so what I did was, this is where the holes are going to be punched here, so you don't need to cut this white off, because remember there's going to be an inch here that's going to be in the spine, so you won't even see this. So you might as well leave it on so you get more paper to work with. Okay, so on all these here, I only cut the top and bottom the long way to measure 7 7/8. Then you need to decide, do you want to have this as the full page and fold this over for the pocket? I'll show you. So that's what we're going to decide. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll show you on both of these here. So once again, this is one of the pages from the freebie. I'm going to fold this over for my pocket. So I just want to score along the white border. And I'm going to do that on all of those pages from the freebie. There's like 5 of them, I believe. So I did that, and then I'm going to turn them over, the white edge, and that's just going to give a nice finished edge here. Make sure it's folded over real nice. You could always, you know, I sometimes have to use the bone folder to make it nice. And when you fold over such a little piece like that, it's kind of off a little here. So give me 1 second. We're going to figure this out here. I just want to make sure it's, I don't want to see the white on the other side. I'm still seeing the white, so I'm going to have to move it a little bit by hand here. Let me just get that. And by doing this, you'll see how it's just going to strengthen the edge of the page for the pocket. So could have probably been a little smidge more generous, but I'll get it. I'll get it to work. Let me just try it here. I think we're good now. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So once you find what side you want to fold over like this for the pocket, so your front of your page will go in. Here's where the holes are going to be. It's going to go in the binding here. This will be a page, and when you turn the page, you're going to have a tuck here, and that'll be on just the pages from the Ko-fi site, the freebie from the Ko-fi site. So once again, I'm going to get my fabric tack glue that I'm working with. And I'm going to just glue this down. So if it's a little dark in here, I apologize, because it is a very rainy, cloudy day today here in Illinois. But I have my lights on, so hopefully that is not a problem. Okay, so once we do that, you're going to do that to just the freebie pages. Okay, on all the pages, you're going to make them 7 7/8, or your personal measurement, whatever your cover is measuring. But for me, for the measurements I gave you, all pages will be 7 7/8 to fit here by 8 1/2. And you can leave the whites on these here, because it's going to be enclosed in the spine. Okay, so because I said 7 7/8, I'm going to measure 7 7/8 there, but 8 1/2 this way for me. I'm going to see where 8 1/2 lands, which is, I'm going to measure it right about here, see where it lands, put a little pencil mark, and I'm going to get my scoreboard out again, and I'm going to score along that mark. Okay, I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to lightly score like that. Okay, and you'll do that on the freebie pages. This is, so each set of pages are going to be a little different. So I'm going to fold on that score like so. Make sure the edges are nice. And open, remember we folded the white part back, so we have a nice crisp edge here. It's not going to rip or anything. It's nice and crisp there. So I'm just going to close this up, this tuck here. I should stop calling it a pocket. Just put it on there. And if you want to make it you know, a smaller one or a bigger tuck, but I think this is fine just the way this is. So once you get this glued, now this will be a page. So remember we made the template, and I said make sure you mark the top so you're not flipping this around, because just like when you make a spine for a journal, you always mark top and bottom, because it's always not exactly the same, right? So by leaving this on, this gives you more paper to see and work with. So what you're going to do with all your pages once you get them cut is you're going to line them up, mark, and punch your holes, okay? So, but you don't need to do that till you have all your pages cut. So, for instance, I want to show you. Well, I'll get to that part. So then this is a page here, and when you turn it over, we have a tuck. I want you to do that for all of those pages. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5. These are the 5 pages that come with the freebie. So that's how you're gonna work those pages, okay? So then let's move on to the easier ones too. That would be the solid pages. Super easy. This is what they look like when I print 8 by 10. All I did was cut the tops because we want the 7 7/8. I left the white border on the left because, like I said, you're not going to see it. And I measured it 8.5, sliced it off. We'll use that for inside the journal for whatever we want to use it for. So all the solid pages in the kit, printed 8 by 10 if you can. If you cannot, you'll just end up cutting a little more off to make it 7 7/8. Leave the white on the left side if you have white. If not, make sure this is 8.5. You do that with these pages here, okay? The kit pages. Now the last set of pages here are these journal pages. So what I did was I printed 8 by 10. I cut off part of the top, part of the bottom to make them 7 7/8. I left the white on. I then took my score tool and scored. You can see where the folds are on all these pages. I scored down the middle on all the pages that came in the kit. I'm going to fold on that, line up my pages, make sure they lay nice, leave the white on. Now I could see I did a bad job of cutting there. I'll have to fix that one. Let me take another one. You know, I got that new Tim Holtz trimmer and I really like it, but I think I just need to work with it a little more because sometimes I see that I'm a little off. If you don't want to score, you could just eye it and fold it like that, right? So let me fold them. And then this is what we're going to, now, I guess you don't have to do this, but I did. What I did was once I folded them like this, and remember the holes are going to go here, I glued them together because they're going to go, there'll be a short page on the inside. They're going to be in the spine here, and they will be a short journal page. That's how I'm doing it. If you don't want to do it that way, then you can do another way. But yeah, I'm a little off on cutting here. I apologize. Let me fix this one page here. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was looking at, but boy, oh boy, I gotta just trim that little bit off, don't I? There we go. See how I'm just off that tiny bit on all those pages for some reason, but I will fix them. But I just want to show you this one. So that's what I did. And then leave the white on. And then I just took some fabric tack when it comes out of the bottle. I do have a new bottle ready, but I need to finish this one. So I'm just going to go like this. Just to kind of tack it together. You don't have to put a lot, just a little bit will go fine. And then fold it and make sure it's, and then this way it lays flat. It's not going to open up or rip or bubble or anything like that. So you're going to do that on all the journal pages, okay? So that's what you're going to do on the journal pages. And then on the plain pages, just leave the white on the left, cut them down. On the freebie, top and bottom cut a little, leave the white on the left, fold the white over on the right, glue it for a nice seam, and then fold over as much as you need to make it 8.5, and then we have a tuck. So that's what you're going to do on all of the printed digital pages. On the Stardust paper, I cut them 7 7/8 by 8.5. I already lined up this here on the edge and punched all the holes in here, and I will do the same now on the digitals once I get them all cut and glued. I'm starting out with, I have 12 pages here. I'll probably need more, but I'm just starting out because I'm not sure how many I need. And what's nice about this album is if you need to add more as time goes on or whatever, you just untie it, take the cover off, and add more pages. Just, cut a bunch more, punch the holes, untie the, where it's going to tie here, untie it, lift the cover off, and you can either just put more pages on top, or you would have to take some off if you want to put them in a certain spot. So super easy, not sewn in. And so I'm going to start with 12. I might add more of these, but for now, and oh, the other thing that's nice about this, you can make this as thick as you want, because all it is lining up pages with the covers. This can get as thick as you want. It doesn't matter. That's what's really fun about this album too. You can just add 100 pages. It's fine. So what I did also was the cord that I'm using. It's like a cotton cord, and it unravels. So what I did is I cut myself a yard of this off, and I used Scotch tape, a piece of Scotch tape for each end, because sticking it through all the papers and holes, it's going to start unraveling. So what I did was I just put some Scotch tape on the end and rolled it up like this to make it so I can, it'll be stiffer, that I can get it through all the pages and the cover in the back. Okay, so I cut about a yard off, so that's more than enough that we're going to need. If you have a cording that doesn't ravel, then you're fine. You don't have to do this, but like I said, this is like a thicker cotton cord, and this will start unraveling the more I fool around with it. So I have that ready, and I can show you the very first page that I wanted to put in my album. So the first album I made, the one, I don't know where I have it. Where did I put my album? I have all this Groovy stuff everywhere, and I love it. Okay, I found it here. Let me get it here. Okay, so this is my album, the first one that I made. So you see how this will be here, and the cording, this is too long obviously, but I didn't add any pages yet, so everything will come through there, and you will tie it just like one of the albums from that 60s 70s were. And you could just knot it here, loose knot or double bow, and then anytime you need to open it, you just untie it. I would leave strings longer, but like I said, I haven't even added pages yet. So I was thinking, well, what would I want my first page in my journal or in this album to be? So this is what I came up with, and you might like it. I took one of my pages here, and I found a font that was like the flower pot. This one is called Action Is. If you look on Pinterest, sometimes you can find free fonts. And I looked for 70s, 80s, flowery, disco-y kind of fonts. And this one is called, I think it was called Flower Power. But if you'll find one, or you might even have one already, or you might have a way of printing, whatever you wanted. But this is going to be my first page in my album. So I just cut out more of my daisies, my flower power daisies, and then I typed, these are memories of my childhood and teen years ranging from the 60s and the 70s, or through the 70s. So this is going to be my very first page in my album. So, and I just printed it on a regular piece of the Stardust cardstock, centered the print, cut it down to the right size of all my pages here, and then glued some of my hand-cut flowers on it. And I love it. I think that's going to be an awesome first page. The other thing, which I'm not sure if I mentioned, once you get all your papers ready and all these pages ready and the holes are punched in, the next thing you want to do is score them. So when you have them, when you open this cover and you want to start turning these pages, I scored them at 1 inch from the edge. A light score. You don't need to bone folder them, just gently crease them with your hand after you score it. So this is what I'm saying. When you open this journal, like so, and you want to start turning pages, see, it's going to automatically turn real nice. Because if you don't score them, you're going to have a hard time. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show you now today, is how to prepare all the digitals and to get yourself something you want to use as base pages. Okay, and then I just wanted to give you an idea of maybe like the very first page you want to put in your journal when you flip that. I keep calling it a journal, it's an album. When you flip the cover of the album open, this would be the first page you would see, along with these cool groovy girls here, which I absolutely love. So that's what I wanted to show you today. So in the next video, I'm going to, and then the other thing I wanted to say is don't put all your pages in. We're going to work on them out of the album, because that would be probably too much, it would be too much. So what I'm going to do is suggest that you just put them in an order. Once you get them all punched, scored, put them in an order that you like maybe a couple plain, a digital, couple plain, a digital, a pocket page, whatever you want to do. Have all your ephemera cut out and ready. And then in the next video, we're probably going to start working on some pages of how to use the ephemera. And I'll show you how I thought maybe I would put the digitals in between. It's just your personal preference, whatever looks good to you, but that's what we'll start doing in the next video, okay? So I just wanted to show you that and get you started. I hope you're enjoying this project. I am so excited to start putting things in this journal of images I have collected. I have over 200 images of memories in my computer of things, plus I want to put a few of my own personal photos in my album, in the one I'm working on for myself, this one here with the pink record. Okay, so this is my album here, but this one I'm going to put together, and when this album's put together, this one here is going to go in my shop, just so you know. So I'm working on this one here, and this is going to be the one that's going to go in the shop with this record here. So, okay, friends, thanks for hanging with me, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Have a great weekend. Take care now. Bye.